Tell me when.
Hi everyone, and welcome back. We're at the Unraveled Yarn Boutique here in Paragould, and I have the owner here. If you want to
Yep.
introduce yourself.
My name is Petra Weber. We've been open for about no, I keep saying about, it's been 3 years. It was 3 years April. So, and like you said, we're in Paragould, Arkansas, or in downtown Paragould, Arkansas now. So we're really excited to be at downtown. But
Awesome.
yeah.
Yeah, so we're gonna have a look through the yarns that she has
Mhm.
available. She just finished up the Arkansas yarn
Yeah, we
crawl.
did. We just finished up the Arkansas yarn crawl. This was my second year doing the Arkansas yarn crawl, and it was a lot of fun. It was even better than last year, so that was exciting. But our so that's kind of why our shelves look a little bit bare too, is because we just had a bunch of people through, and so but we organized by brand mostly. So we've got our Bernat brand, and then we just carry a few things from them, mostly what's trending and popular. And then on down, we have some Lion brand. So basically, this is our big chain store wall, and then on down, we move into Cascade, um, acrylics, and then some wools, and then some knitting fever, and then we've got like our knickknacks, and then right here is more Cascade, and then our hand dyeds. Um, this is Emma's yarn. This is our newest. Our newest stuff is Emma's yarn. We're really excited. They're based out of Florida. I think a lot of people know them by Casapinka does a lot with Emma's yarn, but so that's our hand dyed, some of our hand dyed. And then we just have knickknacks kind of strewn about the store. So we've got some fun shawl pins, and then we have Arcane Fibers. Um, Arcane Fibers is actually one of our first hand dyers to start stocking in store. Actually, he might have been the first. And the fun fact about Arcane Fibers is I saw him on Instagram, and I really liked the way his yarn looked. It looked really neat. And I reached out to him and I was like, hey, do you guys do wholesale? He's like, we just opened up wholesale to the US. So we were actually the first store in the US to carry Arcane Fibers. I was really excited about that. And
That's
so I
awesome.
like to tell everybody that because I'm kind of proud of that. So, but then we have more Cascade, and then we have some Queensland cotton, and we do a lot of fingering weight here because it's one of my best sellers is fingering weight, which I think almost any knitter works with fingering weight. So we do a lot of fingering weight. Our Emma's yarn is worsted, but a lot of fingering weight because that's just what sells good. And then we have some Malabrigo right here. We have several options in that, and then um, we have a bunch of knickknacks. What I like to do on local yarn store day every year is I like to bring in new things. So this year's focus was knickknacks. So we've got a bunch of pins, and they're so cute on jean jackets. I've got 2 on my jacket, and I've got a bunch in here. And then we got stickers, some fun stitch markers, and stitch stoppers. So we brought in a lot of new knickknack things. And then ball yarn is another one of our favorite hand dyeds. We have actually a couple different things in his or their stuff. We have some DK weights. We have 2 different lines of fingering. So this was all a lot of our favorite um, hand dyeds, and I think our second. So I'm thinking I'd got Arcane Fibers and ball yarn about the same time because when we first opened, we started off really small and we didn't even have. I think we had like a whole 6 skeins of hand dyed. Like it was really sad. So we branched out, obviously, and then we have some more Emmas in like the fingering and stuff. And
Okay.
so we just kind of organized by brand, and we organized by what's popular too, or bring in not organized, but we bring in what's popular. So a lot of times, acrylics in this area are just as popular as the hand dyes because we have a large amount of crocheters here. And as most people know, crocheting takes 30% more yarn. So a lot of people lean towards acrylics. So that's one of the reasons we brought in Cascades acrylic too, is because their quality is really nice. So it's
Okay.
just a little info.
Yeah. So as far as your yarns go, so you just had the yarn crawl.
Yeah.
Do you have any other big events coming up?
Big
Or do you
events.
have like knit nights and things like
We
that where
do.
people come in?
We have knit nights about every 3 weeks. And we do like snacks and stuff, and we run 10% off during 6 p.m. through 9 p.m. on Friday nights, and that's every 3 weeks. I think the next one's August 11th. So about every 3 weeks, as long as holidays don't interfere. As to like big events, we're kind of at the end of that because we had local yarn store day, then we had yarn crawl. So we're actually not really doing anything really big until Christmas. And usually for Christmas, we just do a little bit fancier on our stitching night or a giveaway or something just to kind of take it up a notch.
Mm-hmm.
And then we usually about the beginning of November we have a Christmas tree, and every year we have someone make it. We have people make ornaments and put it on our Christmas tree. So we
Oh, that's
have
awesome.
2 years running on our Christmas tree. So if you come in and look at our Christmas tree, you'll find all the different things people have made. We usually have like a color theme. This next year, we're going to have a like a Christmas bar set up where all the yarns out, hooks, needles, patterns, where you can just sit down and do it if you want to. So kind of like what we did with our flower bar, which we still have up if you want to look at
Yeah,
that.
definitely.
So we're creating a flower wall up here on this blank wall. So during Arkansas Yarn Crawl, I set up this flower bar where you can sit down, look through pattern books of flowers, and make a flower. And then if you make a flower or a leaf or something, you can write your name down, and your name's going to get credited to our wall. But basically, what we want to do is fill up this wall we have up here, which we have a sample down there if you want to see.
Yeah,
Um,
of course.
and so we're calling it our wildflower wall because everybody is different and we want to embrace that, and everybody makes things different. So it's our wildflower wall where everybody's special. And um, so that's kind of the idea we'll do with the Christmas ornaments is kind of set up a bar like this and just let people sit and crochet. So
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah. So do you generally have knitters or crocheters or both?
A little bit of both. The longer we're open, the more knitters we're getting. When we first opened, we had mostly crocheters, but I've noticed this area is very much a crocheting area. I think it's because everybody's grandma crocheted around here. Not very many people come in saying, my grandma knit. Most people come in saying, my grandma crocheted. I want to learn how to crochet. Um, so I would say it's starting to be about a 50-50, um, a 50-50 split, but it's taking a long time to get there. So, and it kind of doesn't help that I was a crocheter first and really didn't get into knitting till two years ago. Really, like I knew how to do it. I never could get the hang of it as much as I do now. Now I love both, so my customers are starting to love both too.
Yeah.
So I think it's moving towards a lot of knitters, but still a lot of crocheters.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Do you have tools and things like that too?
Yeah, so we have quite a few. We have some Lantern Moon, we have Chow we have some Knit Picks. We try the My goal here is to always provide the affordable, but also the fancy, if I can. So we have a bunch of different needles, and then of course whatever we don't have in stock, I can order. So we do that kind of frequently where people don't have where they need something, and I'm like, well, I don't have it in stock, but I can order it. We have bags, and the shelves have gotten a little messy. Like I said, we just had yarn curl. I didn't get to
Mm-hmm.
straighten very much up yet. And then we have some of our favorite things, knickknacks, are the firefly notes. They have these cute little handmade resin tins for holding your stuff and like a bunch of different little stitch markers. And they come in like these little seed looking packets. And I just thought
Oh,
those were so cute.
those are so
So
cute.
we have that. We have pom poms. We've got bags. We stock wool winders and just a little bit of everything. And yarn bowls. We usually have quite a selection of yarn bowls, which once again, yarn crawl kind of took a few away,
Yeah.
which not a bad problem to have. I just got to restock. But and then Cumulus, we're starting to get some knitting fever brands in. So Cumulus was a brand we brought in recently. It works up so soft. And then we've got more coming in. We did some pre-orders over the yarn crawl, so we have
What's the makeup of that one?
this one.
Yes.
This one is 94% cotton and 6% nylon.
Okay.
So it's cotton based, but it's named after clouds, which I love because it definitely has a cloud like texture.
Mm-hmm.
And what's really interesting about it is when you feel the skein, it's like, oh, that's not so soft. But when you knit it up, it's like, oh my goodness, it does. It feels fluffy and cloud-like. So I just made a little blanket for my little cousin from it, and it was really really cute. Yeah, it
Okay.
worked out really great.
Awesome.
Mhm.
Do you ever carry like mohair or alpaca silk or any of
I
those types of
do
fibers?
have I have some Malabrigo silk paca, which is actually a lace weight, um, and then um, what was theirs?
Oh no, I
I
just said
blanked out it.
so mohair or
Yes, and then we had Emma's mohair, but once again sold out recently.
yeah.
So I have to do a lot of restock. So we have Malabrigo's mohair, and then we have Silk Paca by Malabrigo, and then we have the Emma's yarn mohair typically, but I am sold out.
Mhm.
And then I'm planning on branching out into more alpaca. We actually just had a local lady brought in some alpaca that we had like a trunk show during the yarn crawl. So we had that for a little bit. So sometimes she brings in skeins too.
Okay.
And that's from a local farm. But
Okay.
so gonna branch out into that some more, slowly doing it.
Yeah. Is that
Yeah.
local here in Arkansas or is that local
Yes,
to
so
the area?
Sanctuary Farms is
Okay.
her. Yeah, Sanctuary Farms. They take care of alpacas, rescue alpacas, and then she this last batch she sheared them and then sent the wool off to be milled. But sometimes she brings me in hand spun skeins to
Oh,
sell too.
awesome.
So yeah, she does a really good job too. Really
Yeah.
good. Yeah.
And then so we have this table set up. Do you ever have like classes where people can come in and learn crochet and knitting
Yes.
and all of that?
So we offer beginner crochet, beginner knitting, beginner Tunisian, and occasionally beginner drop spindle. So those are our main beginner classes, and we do beginner knit and crochet about once a month. The crochet I almost have a full class every time. The knit's kind of hit or miss.
Mhm.
Once again, that crocheting area, and then we'll have other classes here and there, usually taught by someone else if it's knitting, because while I can teach beginner knitting and help you with basic patterns and stuff like that, there's still a lot I don't know. So usually, like for something like socks, I have somebody else come in and teach socks. Or the Tunisian crochet class is actually done by someone I know locally, so she'll come in and do that. So those are kind of like whenever we end up having them. There's no like set schedule to them, but those are the classes we typically offer.
Okay. And how do people find out where your classes are, when they're going to be?
Facebook typically, and then we have text message marketing. I don't remember the number off my head, but most of the time we get that knowledge out by Facebook. And then we're working on a website, but it's probably a little bit in the making. So we'll
Okay.
probably find that information on a website at some point too.
Okay.
So
Yeah. And as far as signing up, do they just call the store
yeah,
or
they can
just
call me, text me, message the Facebook page, and we typically have you do like a reservation fee, and then we offer or we provide the supplies as well. So our crochet classes usually run around 30 and our knit classes run around 40.
okay?
But we try to keep it kind of on the down low because we want people to learn, or down low, wrong word. Cheaper end is what I was trying to
Affordable?
say.
Yeah.
Affordable, yes. I've never been very good with
Oh no, you're good. You're good.
words. Sorry.
Yeah. No, and I just noticed your earrings. Those are so cute.
Oh, thanks. Yeah. So
Did you
this was,
crochet those or did
yeah, yeah.
that's
So
awesome.
let's see, a couple years ago I did through the summer I did some crochet earrings, and then this summer this was what these were. So last year or year before, I can't remember. I think it was the year before. We did like little wheels, and then this year we did crochet granny squares. So
Oh awesome.
yeah, they're a lot of fun. I like it because it's summer and you can still wear a crochet or a knit thing without it being too hot.
Yeah,
So you can
for
still
sure.
show off your fiber love. So
Yeah, and then in going into the fall, are you going to be putting kits or anything together for the Stephen West MCAL? I know that's a big one that a lot of people participate in the shawl knit along.
I honestly haven't even thought about that yet, but it's a great idea, and I think I will look into it and see what I can pull off. But
Okay.
I usually am really out of the loop on that stuff because I have 4 kids,
Oh yeah.
and like I said, I just got into knitting really a lot, so I don't get to keep up with that stuff as much as I want. So when people like you like say, "Are you going to do this?" I'm like, "Oh yeah, I'll do it."
Yeah.
So let me do some research, and I might.
Okay. Yeah,
But
I don't think he's released the colors yet, like how
okay,
many colors or
okay,
what. It's
yeah,
usually fingering weight. It's
right.
usually
I
between
know he
4 and
does a
5
ton of
skeins.
fingering weight, right?
But because he just finished up his super secret sock along.
Right. I have a
Um,
lady that was finishing that up too, and she did great. She used the Emma's yarn for that. Those
yeah,
were really cool.
because I know that Stephen and Penelope, the store that Stephen West is out of, they
Yes.
do a ton of Emma's yarn kits.
Yeah.
So
Right.
just being able to have that local, because a lot of times I feel like when I shop online, especially from like Amsterdam, where
Yeah.
Stephen and Penelope is, I get it, and it's like a totally different color.
Then yeah, than
Um,
what you thought it would be.
yeah, so
Yeah.
definitely gonna try and come
Yeah.
here for
Yeah,
sure
sure. Yeah.
to look
I'll have to
for
look into it and
look for
I'll see
nice
what I
gains.
can put together.
Yeah,
But
usually it's more solid, so I just
yeah, right.
but
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. That would be really fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then if it's fingering, we could have a couple different options. Because we could use Cascades um heritage, and then we could even put some together that are on the, depending on what people want
Yeah.
to spend, we could have something around the 75 mark, and then something around the 150 mark too. So
Yeah.
we'll see what we can throw together.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, yeah, that'd be exciting. One of these
Yeah.
days I'm going to try that. One of these days I'm going to do one of his shawls.
And if people want to buy something from you but they don't live in Arkansas, are they able to have it shipped?
Yes, yeah, so if they even want to call me and see if I have something, I'm very willing to video chat them or tell them what I have in stock over phone or even by message. If they see something they like on Facebook or Instagram or TikTok, we do have TikTok now. Um,
Oh wow.
so if you see anything on there, all you have to do is message me and be like, "Hey, I want one or two of these," or and I will ship. And I usually ship 1099 priority mail so that
Okay.
it gets to you quickly, and there's better tracking and some insurance with it.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't usually change that, but that's what we do. So we're always happy to ship.
Okay. And do you only ship domestically or do you also ship internationally?
Currently, just domestically.
Okay.
If we had someone ask internationally, we would have to look into it, but we would not be unwilling to do it. Just currently domestically.
Okay. Perfect.
Yeah.
Um, and then as far as like I saw that you have a community page on
Yeah.
like you have the store page where you kind of show like events that are going
Yeah.
on, and then you have the community page where
Yeah.
people are making bags
Yes.
for the yarn
Yeah.
crawl.
So for Yarn Crawl, our group project was the Daisy Bag by All About Amy, or Ami. I'm not sure which way she pronounces it. Um, and so we did that, and then we just recently started a Tunisian crochet along blanket. So usually I announce that on our main page, but then those of us who are doing it communicate through the group page, so Unraveled's community, and that's where we talk about the difficulty of the stitches, or hey, where are you guys at on progress, or number 5 just released. So that's where we just kind of keep up with each other without um, blowing up the business Facebook page.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
There are people there who ask, questions if they get
Yeah.
stuck on a project and that kind
Mm-hmm.
of
Mm-hmm.
stuff as
Yeah.
well.
So people can. I've had a couple people do that. So they post what they're making. It's basically just almost like a group messaging
Okay.
place, uh, except it's not dinging your phone every 2 minutes.
Yeah.
But so people can ask questions on there. Um, you can post pattern ideas. I mean, it's basically our community page for community conversation.
Yeah. And also, this is not just a yarn store; it's also a bookstore
Yeah, yeah.
as well.
So I wanted to move downtown because originally we were located over just about half a mile up in the Paragould Plaza, and I knew I wanted to move downtown. So when this opened up, I kind of peeked in the window and I was like, it's kind of too big. And then I had a friend message me. She's like, "This building's for rent. It would be so good for you." And I was like, "Yeah, but it's a bit big." And then I must just kind of casually talk to my husband about it. I was like, "I wish that building wasn't so big. I wish I could take it." I mean, I would love to fill it up all with yarn, but I was like, that's just a little bit out of reach. But um, and then I don't know if it was in the same day or if it was another day. We were talking about, man, I wish there was a good bookstore to go to, because at the time there weren't any. Um, and he was like, I've almost even thought about opening one. And I was like, why not? Like, like if that's something you really think you want to do, like why not? This community's told me over and over, like, oh, we have a yarn store, now we just need a bookshop. Like
Mm-hmm.
I know it would be well received. And so uh, when he said that, I was like, there's that building. We could turn it into two things. We could be half yarn shop, half bookstore. So that's what we did. So the bookstore has been open since October. I can't believe we're almost at a year on that. And
Gosh.
then we celebrated our third anniversary in here
Awesome.
as the yarn store. So yeah, so it's actually two businesses in one. That confuses people sometimes, but because it's in the same building, but it's
Mm-hmm.
Unraveled, the yarn shop, and then Weber's Bookhouse. So and then my husband runs. He's the know-all on that side, and then um, he has book clubs and stuff like that, and he can ship too.
Okay. Yeah, so if anybody would just wanted to come and like get some yarn and just hang
Yeah.
out, would they be
Yes.
able to do that?
Oh, definitely. We're always trying to push for that. We have a living room set up, which is kind of like our both stores' living room. So we obviously have a table, which we usually have cleared off, except for a flower bar. So people can come sit at the table, people can come sit in the living room. We just kind of have it set up for just bring in your coffee. We encourage people bringing in their coffee or their drink and sitting and knitting, crocheting, reading. And we've actually had quite a few people do that. It's always exciting for us to see that because we usually have soft music playing. Occasionally we'll have like something peppy, but usually it's soft just to kind of help people relax. Because that's something my husband and I have always wanted to provide is just a place where people can feel safe and, where like people can just relax and kind of take a load off.
Mm-hmm.
So that's always been our goal.
Okay. Yeah, no, that's awesome. Um, do you guys ever participate like in like community events or
Mm-hmm.
anything like that that's
Yeah, so
going on
we've
in Paragould or
Yeah, so when
Jonesboro?
we moved downtown, we were able to become a part of downtown Paragould events. So Main Street Paragould, downtown Paragould does a lot of events. So usually we will participate in those as long as we can. And I think we've done just about all of them. Last year we got to have Santa Claus. So downtown Paragould
Awesome.
hosts Santa Claus at a couple of businesses, and we got to be one of those businesses last year. So that was a lot of fun. We had Santa here. My kids loved it. I mean, we loved it. I mean, who doesn't love Santa Claus? So, and then we've done where there's late shopping nights hosted downtown. We'll do that, or um, like there's been a couple things where uh, there's a lot of events that happen downtown, and we usually stay open for those and throw in a little something too. So,
Okay.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
And as far as like, because I know that you have events going on, and is there like an age range where they have to be like, is it just adults? Is it kids? Is it a
Usually
mix?
family friendly. Like it's usually always family friendly downtown. Uh, I don't think we've ever had like an age restriction on any of the events down here or us. Now there might still, be stuff that's age restricted, but not like in the actual event. So I know that one of the events we stayed open for, like they had beer and everything. So obviously that's restricted, but
Mm-hmm.
there's still like family friendly events. So our stitching nights, while kids do come, it's usually adults, and then like pretty much anything. Book club is usually adults, but mostly just because I think younger kids probably wouldn't be interested in the book of the month kind of deal. So sort of, but not really restricted. So it kind of just depends.
Okay. And then do you have any just kind of like going off of like so as far as like doing outreach or anything like
Mm-hmm.
that? 'Cause I know a lot of people are um what is the word I'm looking for? They are like charity knitters. Like they'll knit
Yeah.
like a blanket for like the homeless society
Mm-hmm.
or whatever. Do you ever do events like that or
We tried
drives like
once.
that?
We haven't tried in a while. I know when we tried once, it didn't work out. Like it didn't go through very well. We weren't able to get it off the ground.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that's probably because we just didn't have a lot of people who knew about us. So we
Mm-hmm.
haven't tried anything yet. But I do have people come in and purchase for charity. So I know there's still people out here who come in here and donate their stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they purchase it like to make something for charity,
Yeah.
you mean?
Yeah.
Okay.
So they purchased it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I know there's people that do that here. We just haven't
Mm-hmm.
got to do it, and we haven't got to do anything yet. And I mean, there's been a few things where we've, like, as a business, we've been able to like sponsor a few things, but not as much as we
Right.
would
You can
want
only
to,
do so
or
much. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
not as much as we would want to, but we have done a little bit of that. But like I said, the last thing we tried didn't really get off the ground, so maybe in a little while we could try again and it would go off the ground. But
Yeah, it's just something people start thinking about around the holidays. Like, since
right,
I know it
right,
feels like a long way away, but
yeah.
it's already
Oh,
August, so we're
I
kind of
know. Like, I just
getting
made a
into,
Halloween order. So
yeah.
I was like, it's August. I got to get on top of this. And this is my third year running. And every year I'm like, I didn't get any Halloween colors. I didn't get Christmas colors in time. I usually always get them too late.
Yeah.
So this year I've actually got some Halloween colors coming in time.
Oh, that's
So they
awesome.
should be arriving around 1st of September. But
Yeah. Do
I
you
mean, it's
generally
just,
have like featured items like that?
I do sort of like around the holidays, like I've got an order from Arcane Fibers coming, and I think three of the colors. One's Hocus Pocus, one is Sally from Nightmare Before Christmas, and then one is Pumpkin King. So I've got those three colorways coming. So when those come in, I'll be like, these are our Halloween, these are our Halloween buys. And then there's a couple colors coming that are still just regular fall autumn items. So when I get new stuff like that, I will feature it just simply because it's the holidays, people are wanting this stuff. Um, through the summer, it's kind of hard to feature that stuff because there's not a whole lot of events
Yeah.
to help push it. But
Yeah. And do you find that people, like, just because we are in Arkansas where it's like a gajillion degrees
oh,
right
right,
now,
so hot,
and people
so
are like,
hot.
I want to knit, but it's a gajillion degrees outside. Do you find that in general they tend to buy more, like, I know that you said that because we have crocheters, they're buying a lot more acrylic,
Yes.
but like, do people avoid wool then when they come
Um,
in to shop here, or is it more kind of a mix?
it's a little bit of a mix. I do end up selling a little more cotton over the summer. Mostly, I think, because people, like you said, the people aren't really wanting to knit a really hot object. And so people come in and buy wash drag yarn all the time during the summer. So that frequently sells. And I tend to push the cotton in the summer and even in the fall just because I'm like, this area is so hot, even up until
Mm-hmm.
January. Um, so we usually have the what gets bought through the seasons does change. But I'm not sure if the wool really slows down. Business in general kind of slows down, but I think that's partly because people go to the lake around here. It's too hot.
Mm-hmm.
It's too hot.
Yeah.
People want to be by the water. So it's kind of hard to say just because like everything slows down.
Okay.
So it's kind of, I'd say it might be around the same, but it slows down. So it's kind of hard to say.
Yeah, and so I know that there's the Arkansas Yarn Crawl. Like, is this store affiliated with any other stores? Is it standalone?
It's a standalone store.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think everybody on the Arkansas Yarn Crawl is a standalone store, but we all root for each other too.
Yeah, well, that's good
So
to have that community and
yeah, yeah.
um, have all those people come in for that.
Mhm.
Is there anything else you'd like to share about the store?
Um, just that I'm really proud of our community. Really, it's been a joy to teach people to knit and crochet because I've loved yarn ever since I was 10. So it's neat to um, get to watch people come in and learn and take off. And then it's just really nice to have those local people who really want you to stay and they're trying their best to support you. So just maybe a big thank you to our local community for supporting us. So
Awesome.
yeah.
Well, thank you so much for taking the time today.
Yeah, thank you so much. It was fun.
Yeah, great.